Hello, hello, and welcome to Sunday Night Live. We're going to be crafting together tonight, and I wanted to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining me. I am looking, and I see we have lots of comments, so I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually read, which would be nice. Oh, only 2 more days until I actually go see the optometrist. I'm so excited because these are not the right glasses, so I'm looking forward to getting ones that are going to actually help me see. Would be awesome. So I see we've had Margaret and Donna bantering since very early. You girls were super early tonight. Please say hi when you jump on. I'm just seeing if we've got any questions or anything that I need to attend to before I get started. 100th birthday party, Donna. That's exciting. We all hope to make that big number, right? I'm just looking through. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, girls. I did ask for anyone who was looking. I have a private Facebook group for my VIPs. So if you're in Australia, that's the only criteria really. You need to be an Australian to be in that group, because I sometimes occasionally do giveaways or other things in there that is appropriate just for Australian watchers or people who live in Australia. So so I keep that VIP group for those people. So these are people, they are team members, they are customers, they are people who just like to watch or keep an eye on what's going on. So all of those people, as long as you're in Australia, you can be in that group. And the group is called Linda Dolke's Private Stampin' VIP Group. Okay, so if you go looking for that, you will find it and you can request to join. There's a couple of questions. The first question I think is, are you in Australia? And then it asks a couple of other questions as well. So I'd love to have you join. On that group today, I did, like if I'm going to do a poll or ask for information or questions, feedback, I usually do it in that group. And today I asked whether anyone had anything they particularly wanted to see tonight. So, I mean, you're anybody. If you're listening to this now, anybody, no matter where you are, you're always welcome to request something, or if you want to see a technique or you want to see have an answer to something, whether that be how to do something, why something is like it is, or whatever. As long as it's papercraft related, I hope I can help you. There's a good chance I'll be able to, and if I can't, I will find out. So we'll all learn something. So today I asked for anyone who had any requests for tonight, and there was a couple of responses to that. Jody and Katrina both requested, first of all, Jody requested a couple of sets I don't have yet. One is Queen Bee, which will arrive, it probably will arrive tomorrow. So I hope to play with that next weekend. So look out for that, Jody. And that's a beautiful set, the Queen Bee set. I've had my eye on it since it came out in the catalogue. The other one that was mentioned was the bike one. Is it Ready to Ride? I think it's Ready to Ride. We're talking about, where is it? Down here on the floor next to my desk. We're talking about this catalogue here, okay, this mini catalogue. And I mean, all the annual catalogue, I'm open to both, but the Ready to Ride, I think that's what it's called, suite. Yes, Ready to Ride suite, which features the Ready to Ride paper and the Legendary Ride bundle. Okay, so it's this one. All right, I don't have this one yet. Can you see all the lovely, like there's, where is it? There's a bike and some really cool dies. The fire or flames that would be probably coming out of the exhaust of the bike, that reminds me of Hot Wheels. I'm sure you could do something with that would be a lot of fun, but I don't have this set yet. It'd be great for masculine cards, and there's a really cool embossing folder which is called the Metal Plate embossing folder. I think that's what it's called. Yep, Metal Plate 3D embossing folder. So really kind of can be a little bit grungy, but it's great for masculine cards. But I don't have it yet, okay? But don't let that stop you buying it if you love it. I really do like it, but I just haven't got it because you can't have everything, right? I would like to get it. You want the Queen Bee set too, Cindy? I know, it's really lovely. I want to play with it. And I'm doing for my craft along later this month. I'm actually going to be doing vellum techniques, and I thought the Queen Bee lends itself very well to vellum techniques. So I'll probably do something with that bundle in my class. So whether it's the live class or maybe one of the alternate projects, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that because I think it'll be fun to play with vellum. So that's something to look forward to. If anyone's wondering when Craft Along is, let me grab my diary and give you the right date. It's the last Saturday of the month, which this month just happens to be Saturday the 25th of February. Okay, so that's coming up 2 p.m. 25th of February. We'll be live that day, so just like I am now. You can the video link will be up the week before. If you place an order in January, then that means you're going to receive the supplies in the mail. This is if you placed an order with me through either the online store or directly. As long as your order was over $60, I'll be sending you out a supply pack to make the project we're going to do live together. And like I said, it's going to be something to do with vellum. So we're doing vellum techniques. Hello, hello. Nice to see you all tonight. Good to have everyone here. All right. So I'm going to switch over to the desk. Give me a second. I'm going to bring in my lamp and my phone, and let's see what we can do here. There we go. A nice, empty, clean desk. It won't stay like that. That's just a temporary situation. As we get crafty, we're going to get messy too, because it's those two things go together. You cannot have craft without mess. That's just a given. How long it stays messy, that's kind of up to me, whether I clean everything up straight after I finish, which doesn't happen very often, or whether I leave it and it just gets worse and worse. Okay. So the set that both Katrina and Jody mentioned that I do happen to have was the On the Farm bundle. Okay, now this one is in the mini catalogue. I'll just find it for you so you can see. And this one I happen to know, if you're buying it in Australia, is $90 exactly. Okay, which is really cool because when you're looking for it, it's by alphabetical order. So O for On the Farm, here it is. It tells me it's on page 34. And here it is here. So you've got your stamp set and then you've got your dies. And the die bundle is huge. There's actually 27 dies in this set. So it's a really, really big one. A lot of them are tiny. So you need to be careful that you do not lose them. Okay. My tip for this set would be whenever you use a die out of the set, put it straight back. Or someone said to me the other day, because I keep losing things, they said, oh, you should have one of those metal bowls for, well, I do have one of those metal bowls. Look. Perfectly good metal bowl that I just keep forgetting to use. Yeah, I do have one. I felt a little bit ashamed of myself when the person, I don't remember who it was, said, oh, you should have one of those bowls. Yes, very helpful. And yes, I know. And I just wish I would remember to use it. But anyway, I do have one. So either they should be going in the bowl or they should be going straight back into the set. All right. So the set is kind of fun. Let's have a little look at it. Who's got this one? So the thing I think with this one, a lot of people looked at it and go, farm animals, what would I do with those? You know, you'll be at, what does that say, Jo? Are you going on another cruise? You'll have to watch the replay. But that's exciting. I had a customer of mine and dear friend who she came to my scrapbooking class last Thursday, and the following day on Friday she was leaving on another cruise. She was on the same cruise that you were on, the one that went up to New Guinea. I think that was you, wasn't it? I know I had a couple of people that were on that same cruise at the same time, and she is now going with her sister on a cruise to New Zealand. So she's there right now. So it's a P&O one though, I think. All right, so then we have the stamp set, and the stamp set has 17 stamps. It always tells you on the front how many stamps are in the set. And I, just as a tip, if you don't have stamps, then this might help you when you're getting started. I hang on to my backing pieces, and then if I have a stamp that I've put together already, I've put the label on the back, I know that that's where it goes, and it's a really quick and easy way of showing me when I have any that are missing, and the one that I can see what it is that I'm missing. So I keep these backing sheets and just slide the stamps back in there. This is when we're talking about the rubber stamps, because that way I don't have them loose, and I don't have to count them every time I put them away. I can just see if there's any missing by any empty holes. So that's just a little tip. Oh, you just ordered it, Jean. Cool, that's good. Hello, Chris. Nice to see you. Oh, just out to sea for a few nights. Nice. Yeah, I thought it was you that went to Papua New Guinea. That's right. Ah, there we go. Oh, you had to have the sheep, of course. Well, there's a really cute sheep. I don't know if I've even put that sheep together, have I? No, he's not even put together yet, that one. I haven't put all the stamps together. I've only pulled out a few and used them. I've used the cow a few times in the trees. In fact, let me just grab it. You guys might remember I made this card last month, which was my little pop-up diorama card. Now, this is Julie Davidson in the US. This was a design for the pop-up card, the pop-up diorama card, which was our craft along last month, was diorama cards. And we did all different kinds of diorama cards. This was one of them. And when you open it, you can see it's got like a little pop-up inside. Can you see that? That's kind of cute, isn't it? And I've cut out a couple of the shapes with these dies. And then the little windmill, look, here it is, this little windmill. How cute is that little windmill? There it is. I just cut it out of black cardstock there. Super cute. I love it. I love cute little things like that. These little these guys, I just stamped them and then added them. I cut them out with this little die here and added them on the side, and the clouds I just stamped those and then cut them out with the little cloud stamp that's right here. So added some twine for a real country feel. The paper in the background is the matching paper for this set. So that's what I'm going to show you next. If you are wondering how you can get your hands on the tutorials for those dies, if you go to my blog, all the details are for all the tutorials are there and you can purchase them. Okay, let me quickly put that banner up. So this is, see there, it says lhiggins.blogspot.com. That's my blog, and if you go there, the most recent post is actually the one for these tutorials. So you can purchase all the tutorials for 15 Australian dollars. If you're in the US, that's only about $10, give or take, depending on the exchange rate of the day, but it's roughly $10. And also there are 4 tutorials for different types of dioramas. So there's this one, the pop-up, I won't go through. I will just show you really fast. Then there's this one, which is the little adorable owls one. There is the seascape, sorry, what do I call it? Sea turtle one, which is, that was kind of cool with the layering diorama dies. And then also this this little guy here, which is the on the ocean stamp set and dies. I love the waves and the by the bay paper. So these are the tutorials that are in that set, plus the tutorial that was the one I did live, which is also this one. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of different dioramas and bits and pieces in there, and all the measurements are there as well. So if you love those, they're not expensive, only about $15, and I really appreciate the support to my business. It's very, very lovely that so many people have been wanting to get their hands on those this month. So that's last month's craft along. This month's is coming up. So all right, let's have a little look at the paper that matches this. All right, so I have chopped my paper up. I mean, this is the one that I used on that little pop-up diorama card. So it's, to me, this is a real country feel, and that's why I liked it, and that's why I added it to that diorama card, because I wanted to have that rustic country kind of a look. And on the back, we have some little animals. Okay, we have the sheep there, Jean. We have the sheep, and we have the pigs, and we have the cows, and some little flowers and leaves. I'm going to pop that one aside because we're going to play with that one. Then we also have some little hills, which is actually really nice in the background. And then you can, I was thinking, I haven't done it yet, but I was thinking it'd be fun to kind of use an X-Acto knife or something like that and cut along a couple of the hills, like if I put this in the background, and then get the animals and kind of slide them down so that they were maybe behind some of the hills, but, you know, go down in between, or some of them would be on top. But I was thinking that would be fun to do with that. And then this one here is also the one I used in my diorama card, and it's cute little trees and cows. I mean, it doesn't get much cuter than that. Look, a little flowers as well. So super, super cute paper. And there's 2 sheets of each, as always. Now, this paper is free. okay, with a $90 order. And if you're ordering this and these, okay, then the paper is free. That's in Australia. I don't know if it's the same in every other market, but here, if you spend $90 on this stamp set, you get the paper for free. So you can choose different paper if you don't love this paper, but there are a whole booklet of celebration items, and I think they're really cute. This one's like cherry cobbler with white little sketch drawings on it, and we've got like hessian, or some people might call this sackcloth, or burlap on the back. Okay, very appropriate. And we've got chickens and geese on this side, and little windmills. You can see I cut out a little goose down here, and then some chicken wire on the back. That's cool. Very appropriate. And then we have more of that. Vegetables. I'm not sure what I'd do with this, but I was thinking if you were like decorating a recipe book, this would be really cute. Has anyone decorated the recipe book at all? Has anyone done that? I think that'd be a great idea. Yeah, sorry, I always forget to take it down, Judy, because I get so engrossed in what I'm doing, and then I forget to take it down. But everyone knows that I do this. And little yellow stripes on the back. They're kind of rough stripes. Can you see that? They've got like little perforations next to them. They're not perfect. I prefer them that way, actually. More of the cherry cobbler one with the hessian, more of the chickens. This is super cool, this one. Look at this. How gorgeous. I love this design. I think you could whack a couple of pictures on it and make it a scrapbook page all by itself. Super, super cute. But there are two of them, so I may use one. We'll see. We'll see. I think I'm deciding whether I want to use that tonight or something else. Let's just see how we go. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do a little bit of cutting. And I want to show you that one of the cool things about the paper is that the dies cut out some of our, like we cut out the cow. Now you can stamp the cow and it will cut out the stamp as well, but you know, it's already done. So, hey, that makes it really, really easy, right? Then this little sheep here cuts out. Mr. Sheep, hello. Then we have a pig here, could be related to Pepper, possibly. And so on. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of fun little things here that you can cut out with these shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I'm thinking where I want this to go. I'm going to cut just across here, because if I do this, it's not interfering with any of these animals, which are all still ready to be cut. And then I can put this through my cut and emboss machine, and that's going to work just fine. So I'm going to use my little mini boho blue. Now, for anyone who's wondering, what is the boho blue color? Is that significant? My wordy, yes, it is. The boho blue. Oh, it's 2:45 a.m. That's too early, Colleen. Well, I hope I'll do my best to not keep you awake. Should I be keeping you awake or putting you to sleep? I'm not sure. But anyway. All right. So the boho blue is a new color that we've been told is coming out in this new in color release coming up in May. Now we're going to know more about this next month. That's as I understand it, about the colors, but we do already know based on a couple of things that have been released for demonstrators that there are likely to be some color changes. So I will talk more about that when I do the next card. I'm just going to cut out my sheep. Will I do these at the same time? You can do as many as you like. I'm just sometimes prefer to do them one at a time because I don't want to that's not too bad, because I don't want to but I worry the more I put on, the more it's going to potentially shift. And I mean, the other option would be I could put it down. Hang on, let me pull that out. I've got it round the wrong way. Of course I do. Let's try that again. Sorry, guys. So let me line that up one more time. One sheep, one cow. Yeah, I don't like to have too many things running through at the same time because I worry if anything shifts, then I potentially will mess them all up, and I don't want to do that. So the sheep moves slightly, but I'm not worried. Let's So I'm going to roll that through. Oh, you fell asleep watching TV? Oh, I do that. I actually did that this afternoon. My husband was actually, I think he was playing a game on his computer, and then I was sitting on the lounge for a bit, and then I got sleepy, so I decided not to fight it and had a nice little nap. So I knew I'd be better for tonight if I was able to nap today. We've got some little piggies. So this is like a mummy piggy and her baby, which is very cute. And they're just lining that up as best I can. Pop that in, move it. As soon as my handle moves, I know it's good to grab, and then I can roll the whole thing through. Put a hand on top, just stabilizes everything, makes it easier. But it's a great little machine. I'm really liking it. All right, so here we have a pig. We have a sheep. We have a cow. Now, I did do a card with this set a couple of weeks ago, which I was really happy with. And I think you guys, many of you would have seen me. We had the yellow stripes. We had the cow on a circle and a little bit of ribbon. Do you remember the one I mean? Let me just see if I can put my hands on it really quickly. I wasn't prepared, but I might still have it here. Ah, there we go. Here it is. So that's the one we did a couple of weeks ago. And this cow, I didn't cut him from the paper. This one I stamped. So you can see it is the same cow. I just, obviously the one, because I cut it out from a stamp and the paper, that was, actually I just realized my ribbon came off. Ah, I'll put that to one side. We'll have to fix that. Perform a little bit of stamp surgery or card surgery. We'll make that work. All right, so let me see. What have I got here? I want to try and use this paper here, and let's see what we can do with it. So I was thinking we could have our animals arranged, and that one I might have sitting down a little bit, but maybe on here somewhere. So let's have a look. I'm going to go 7.5 centimeters, which is about 3 inches for anyone who's wondering. And then I'm going to go, I'll start with 12. I can always cut it down later if I decide to. All right. So if I was to, I've got a piece of folded, this is just folded basic white card. Right, so this is going to go in the middle here. That's about right. I may decide to put that on a mat still. So my cow would be here. My sheep can be up behind, and then the pigs will be down here in the front. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's simple enough. All right, but I'm thinking it needs, it probably needs a little bit of black behind it. So let me grab some black cardstock. And I said this was 7.5. So this black is going to be 8. And what was the width? It was 11? No, 12. So it's going to be 12.5 by 8. So 8 this way. So it's 0.5 centimeter longer on each side than the first piece that I cut. I do love it when they have dies and matching stamps. It makes things much easier. All right, so I don't have an X-Acto knife, but let me see. I do have, I've got my good old paper snips, and paper snips are great for performing all kinds of card surgery. Just grabbing my bag, which I still haven't unpacked fully from my card class, my scrapbooking class earlier last week. Okay, So I think I'm going to want to put, I'm actually just going to go kind of along this edge of this heel here. I'm just going to cut in kind of to here. All right. And then this cow's going to be sitting right here. The sheep, though, is going to go kind of behind this hill. And then the pig will be down the bottom. Because I want the sheep to look like he's over the hill a little bit. All right, so this one's going to have to go on flat. So let me grab some Tombow. And we don't need much, just a little bit, because we just need to stick. You could use other adhesive if you wanted to, such as, you know, tape, a tape runner like Seal, or you could use even tear and tape. But I do rather like Tombow for this kind of thing because it's really easy to work with. I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals behind my cow and we'll have him up. So this, whoop, get off there. So this one's going to be right here. Actually, I'll move him over a little bit. And then our piggies will go down the front. So I'm going to pop them on dimensionals as well. Whoop, that's a bit crooked. Move that so the piggy is straight. All right, so now I'm just going to pop this. Naps are great, I know, right? Nana naps, and I'm not even a nana. I'm old enough to be a nana, but my children are not old enough. I started late. I had my son when I was 40, my daughter when I was 37, so it wasn't the way I planned it, it's just the way it worked out. So yeah, I feel, you know, I've got a lot of friends that are talking about, you know, having grandkids and that sort of thing. And I think to myself, yeah, well, that's not, I'm not at that stage of life. Right, so on the back here, you can use normal dimensionals, or you could go with black dimensionals, seeing as we're working with black. So either would be fine because it's black onto white, so it doesn't really matter which one you have. So let's put our black dimensionals. I'm going to put one in the middle so it doesn't sag, because nobody likes to sag. You could put the veggies. Yeah, that's a good idea, to put the veggies together with the pigs. You are correct. They do eat anything. That is true. When I grew up on a farm, and we had a horse that would eat absolutely anything, and the Labrador. Labradors eat everything. For anyone who has Labradors, you know it's true. They have incredible appetites. All right, so that's looking really cute. Very, very simple little card. I'm thinking, though, that this from all of us would be a good, so we've got today is a good day, thinking happy thoughts of you, and from all of us. So I'm thinking maybe from all of us, seeing as we've got various farm animals on here. And this one I haven't put together yet, but I'm going to quickly do that now. I used to be embarrassed if I came to a stamp when I was doing my videos. Which way does this go? Okay, it goes that way. I used to be embarrassed if I was doing a video like this and I realized that I hadn't put a stamp together. I'd be really embarrassed. Like, I should have had that organized beforehand. And these days I just actually take it as an opportunity to show you guys how I put my stamps together by sticking the stamp to the block, taking the backing piece off, and then applying it to making sure that your stamp is right. Hang on, I'm just going to move this down a little bit. But now we have a stamp that's together. Right, and I'm going to be putting this onto a piece of just plain white cardstock. I'm looking for a scrap because there's no point in using a great big piece. I don't need to. So I'm going to do this in, I could do it in garden green, but I think because I've got the black around and the black outlines, I think I'll go with like just black. That would work quite well. So let's get this really well inked up. One of the things too, when you're stamping, I see a lot of people do this. They put the stamp down and then they rock it backwards and forwards like this. Can I tell you that that is, even though this has turned out perfect, of course it did, can I tell you that that is not the way to do it? Because if you have got any ink sitting here on the outside of this rubber, you will transfer that, and that's when you get the overstamping or the lines or the stamping around what the actual image is, and it looks really messy and untidy, and it's not, none of us like it. So when you do an image, ink it up well, okay, but go straight down, straight up, and you'll get a perfect image when you do that much more of the time. The other thing is when you're going into your ink pad, this is a felt pad, so this one doesn't matter as much because it's quite a hard pad, so it doesn't transfer ink as much to those outside bits. But most of our ink pads, especially all the colored ones, are foam pads. So just say, for example, if I pick one out, okay, just picking out any color, this is Orchid Oasis, which is one of our current in colors. If I was to open up this stamp, this ink pad, and I'm just going to put a random stamp onto the block like this, right? So I pop that on, and then what I would normally do to ink this up is to tap it really gently. Okay, you do not need to tap and tap or push and push and push, and that will stamp out beautifully. But if I push it really hard like this and then do this, oh look, it still worked. I'm on fire tonight, guys. I'm stamping really, really well. But I have seen, especially with long skinny stamps, that's probably a better example. But can you see how it's got ink all the way around here? Because I push too hard, and I see people do this all the time. And then what they do is they go in and they rock their stamp because they think it's going to give them a better image, and that's when you get, this is what I mean when I say overstamping. Okay, see what I mean by that? Now, if you were cutting this out, it wouldn't matter as much because you could cut that off. But if you're not cutting it out and you're putting it straight onto your card, you're going to be really disappointed. So what you want to do is just gentle tap, tap, tap. If you've got a stamp that you've pushed too hard and it looks like this, clean it off and start over, okay? And then just gentle tap, tap, tap. You'd be surprised how gentle you need to be, or how gentle you can be to perfectly ink up your stamp. So I hope that's useful tips for if you're new to stamping. It's really important stuff to know. I don't know why everybody doesn't just, why everybody feels the need to push so hard. Although if you've been around for a long time, we used to have, before we had these foam pads, which incidentally stamp much, much better than the old felt pads. But the old felt pads, you did have to really push hard, or certainly more so than these. So I think a lot of people need to retrain their brains that you just gentle tap now, even though we used to push and really work hard to ink up our stamps. You don't need to anymore, okay? Especially when the ink pads are new and they're really juicy. You definitely don't want to be pushing hard. So I hope that makes sense. I can do no wrong. Well, I'm sure I can. Well, let's. It hasn't happened yet tonight, but I'm sure it can. All right. So we have this little stamp here, and what we're going to do is cut that out. And for that, I'm going to use my favorite dies of all. Now, if you're just starting out with die cutting, if you don't have much in the way of die cutting equipment, and you say, because I often get this question, what dies should I buy first? These are the dies you should buy first. Hang on if I can get them close enough. Wow. There goes that can do no wrong theory. I can't even line them up in the camera. Stylish Shapes dies. These are the best dies we have right now. Now, all the other dies are beautiful and do all kinds of things, but these ones are the ones I turn to the most and use over and over and over again. We've had them for a year now, and I absolutely love them. We used to have the Stitch Shape dies, which was 4 ovals, 4 circles, and 4 squares. Now we have these. It is 6 circles, 5 squares, and 4 banners. And I never use the ovals all that much anyway. So they were my least used ones in here. So what I love about these is all the different shapes that you have, okay? I think I will be using this one. Let's see. This is a little banner die that is going to work really quite well for this. There is 4 banners, like I said. And this one is really too wide. This one is too big. And this one is probably too small. I think it is. Oh, look, it is just too small. So this is the one I want to use. Let's dump them all back in here. I do need to put these on magnets, but I just haven't done it yet. That's why they're all floating around loose. And if you're a very organized person who's got all your stuff on magnets, congratulations and kudos to you, because that's definitely the way to go. Right, so let's pop that back in. But I actually keep these all the time at the front of my, like I have my dies going in and out of the die box all the time. These are always on top at the front. So I always know where they are, because I do not like having to look for them, because I know that I use them more often than any other dies. You love them too, Margaret? I agree. They are the best. So if someone is asking how to start their die cutting journey, my suggestion would be grab yourself the Stitch Stylish Shapes dies. They're the best. All right, so I'm just going to cut this little piece of paper down, and because I stamped it perfectly twice, I've actually got 2 attempts at this. So if I mess it up, it's not going to matter too much, but I'm not planning on messing it up. All right, so we've got our base plate and our top plate. And then we're going to pop this on here. I'm going to line up my die. Sorry about the squeaky chair. I don't know why it's so squeaky, but it just is. All right, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to pop this on top and wind the whole thing through. Hi there, Joan. Nice to see you. Lovely to have you with us. All right. If I have missed any comments, please ask me again, okay? I like your idea about the veggies and the pigs, Donna. That's a really good idea. All right, so we're going to pop this here. I'm going to have it going kind of over the edge. I feel like it needs something, so I'm not quite done yet. I think, let me grab some. I think I've got some right here, actually. Look, I do. And this wasn't even intentional. For anyone who wonders, I normally don't know what I'm doing until sometimes I have an idea. Mostly I just know what set I'm going to use, and then I just create. And that way it's fun for me as well. So I've got some of this fine shimmer paper, and I'm just going to cut a strip of it off the edge here. Actually, I should have cut a thicker strip so I've got room to glue it. That was silly. I'm going to cut a thicker strip. It's better. And then I'm going to grab my little piece that I just cut, and we're going to pop it on here. All right, so I just want this little bit of gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some Tombow, a length of it right across the bottom there. And if you can see that, can you see that? Just a little bit of Tombow. Turn it over. I'm going to line it up so a little bit of the gold is poking out the bottom, because I just want to have it as an accent. And I want to have it just so it's straight to the edge. And it won't take very long for that to dry. It's very quick, actually. Tombow makes a really good contact really quickly, and I love that about it. But you've got a little bit of wriggle room before it dries. Wriggle time. All right, so I'm going to cut this off in line with my die. And I'm going to do the same on this end. Just like that. And just gives me like a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see it very well. Can you see it? Kind of a little bit of a shine down the bottom there. Just a bit of bling. It's kind of nice. And it just needed something there. All right, so I'm going to whack a couple of dimensionals under there as well. Also putting dimensionals over the join of that little piece on the back will also help it to stay where it should, so you don't have to worry. Like the Tombow is going to keep it, but this is like a double protection. All right, I'll take the backs off those. I do that a lot with dimensionals. If I'm putting them over the back of something, it's nice to help, you know, it helps them keep some stability. And I'm going to have it so it's going off the edge of that piece. Now we do need some bling. Oh, thanks, Ellen. Just we had some requests tonight to use the On the Farm set, so I thought I'd use the paper. So I've used the stamps, which just for the sentiment, and then I've cut the images out of the paper, this this fun paper here with the matching dies. So I feel like, now I'm looking at that, I feel like it needs a bit of brightening up, and I've got an idea for that. So let me add a little bit of a, I'm going to make this like about 2 inches wide. It's about 1 inch wide, and then I'm going to have a piece going here and a piece going here. So I didn't need to cut it that long, but anyway, but I think it actually needs a little bit of extra color. So in fact, one of these is probably enough. Let me just cut it in the middle. How about that? Because it doesn't even matter. I just feel it needs something. So let's whack that in behind. So, I mean, I could have just put a strip of paper on before I put this on, but I didn't think of it then. So now I'm just adding it. And because this is on dimensionals, that's another bonus of using dimensionals, is quite often you can slide things in underneath as an afterthought. And I do that a lot. Sometimes I don't decide until a card's made that it needs something extra. So if you've got things on dimensionals, you can slide under some, you know, some. And also, if we're working out where this needs to go, if I put this on this line on my grid paper and make sure that that's straight, then this one is going to go in the same place, so it lines up with the same line on this end of the grid paper, and that way it's exactly right. Slide it into place with my good old Tombow. I think that looks better. Do you think it looks better? I think so. It needed something. And it still needs bling, don't you think, Jody? I think it does. Let me just, I'm going to grab my my jewels. So I could use rhinestones, but no, they're not going to stand out enough. We've got a few choices, actually. I'm thinking, so we've got all these guys. These are always good. All right, so we could use the gold of the pastel gems. Those are stunning. I love the pastel gems. My favorite embellishments at the moment. But we've also got these brush metallics, and we could add some gold because that's going to match in with this gold here. So that might be the go. What do you think? I like that idea. Do we like the... Yeah, do you think that's better, Cindy? Yep, I agree. You cut one of those roses. Yeah, you could. You could put a rose on the cow. You absolutely could. You could do something really fun with that. But I think I'm going to leave the cow as it is today. And I am leaning towards using one of the brushed. The metallic matches the cow. I agree. And Chris said gold. So, yep, gold is where we're going. So we're going to open up these. This is a new pack. These are the brush metallic dots. And so there are some gold, some copper, and some bronze. The bronze have got definitely more of a greeny tone to them. So I'm going to, deciding where, I can do them around, or I can put one on either end of the sentiment because there's definitely room there to do that. Or I might just do one end of the sentiment. So just, hang on, did I leave the adhesive behind? No, I didn't. I was worried that I did. Okay, then to get your take your pick tool out, because that must make sense. So much easier to handle embellishments with the take your pick tool. Goodness me. I don't know what I ever did before I had this thing. And then we're going to have one here. And another one, I'm thinking maybe here. There we go. And the last thing that I would probably like to put on here would be some linen thread, because that kind of has that little country feel about it. I'm just going to tie a simple bow because we want it to have a country feel, right? So, yep, I think that's the go. I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors. Mind you, oh, got a bit of ribbon stuck in the ribbon scissors. Mind you, the ribbon scissors aren't necessary for twine. They cut perfectly fine just with paper snips, but I find I always reach for those anyway. And let's stick this on with a glue dot. So for anyone who wonders how to use glue dots, I'm trying to give you extra tips tonight. So if you're new, you know that this is how everything works. There are little dots on this roll. I think there's 300 from memory. I probably should check that. But anyway, there's lots. And so you get to one, and then the next one is a little bit further down. But what you do is you stick whatever it is you want to stick to the dot, and you give it a good firm push with your finger. Okay. Then you take the whole thing off, and the glue dot comes with it, and it's sticky for you to do something. All right, so there we go. And then I can trim these ends off shorter if I want to, which I feel like I do. And there we go. I'm going to call that a finished card. What do you think? Do we like that? This thing, Jamie, is called the Take Your Pick tool, and it actually comes with a putty end. Oh, my putty end one is not here at the moment because I was using it in another room, but it comes with a different end. I've just got the brush on because I like to use the brush when it comes to getting little bits out of my dies. But this actually normally comes with a putty end that you can pick up little sequins and different things, and it's really cool. The other end has like a pokey tool, which I use for getting embellishments off, or for all sorts of things actually. Or it also has a flat tool, so you can turn that around and lock it in and use the flat tool instead. So it's handy for all kinds of things. Really, really cool. Anyone in Australia who's looking for one of these, I believe they are $17.50. Does anyone know if I'm wrong on that? I'm pretty sure it's $17.50. There is a cat at the door because it's cat feeding time, and I just need to let him out because he's wondering why he hasn't been fed. Come on. Come on. Mella, come on. Come on. Don't just sit there. You wanted to go out. Well, that was unsuccessful. Instead of letting the cat that was in out, I let the cat that was out in. So now they're both in here. So we'll see if I can get through the next card without them yelling at me that they want to be fed. Their feeding time is 8 p.m. And what time is it now? It must be close. 8:20. So they're over the time, and they know when they're over time. Silly cats. So Merlot was the one that was in here, and Crumpet was the one that was out. Now they're both in here. Merlot was sleeping behind my chair. They like to hang out with me and just, you know, just hang. Just do what they think they want to do. Now, all these dies I've just used, rather than putting them away, I'm going to put them. Look, such a good girl. Look how good I am. I'm putting them in my magnetic bowl. So there you go. All right. So actually, look, I do have one in here. This is the putty end, okay? So you actually twist it to get the putty to come up. And then if I wanted to pick up a sequin or something, like for example, we have these new loose dots, really, really handy for picking these up. So these are hard to pick up with your fingers, you know, but just say I want this one, all I have to do is pick it up with my putty tool and it comes straight up, all right? And it's easy to put down again as well. I can pick up a different one if I want to, if I pick up a different color. So these work really well. So very, very handy. And then you can either pop your glue straight onto the gem and put it down on your paper, or you can put the glue onto the paper and stick your gem to that, whichever way suits you best. So Some people like to do it one way and some people like to do it another. I'm doing lots of tips tonight. Don't know why. Must be, I think I feel like maybe there's a couple of new people watching that would like to see, I'm just trying to get this straight, would like to find out about a few new things. I hope that's helpful to someone, and I hope you've learned some ideas. Oh, don't ever worry about being late, Louise. There's no such thing as late. You just get here when your life allows you to be here, and if you can't be here, you watch the replay. So it's never a problem. Never, ever, ever. All right. So the other request I had tonight, and thank you to those of you who did request, that's super helpful. Not only does it give me a direction to go in, but it also means that I'm showing you stuff that you actually want to see. So on Friday night, I showed a new suite of products, and this is part of what I showed. This is a new set called Irresistible Blooms. Now, this won't be available to customers until the 1st of March. And that's, I'm sorry about that, but that's the date that we're allowed to sell them. They won't be up on the website. You won't be able to order them till then. Demonstrators, however, can get it now, okay, as part of what we call pre-orders. So usually the month before something goes live to customers, demonstrators can get their hands on it so that they can start to showcase it, you know, start to feature it in their videos like what I'm doing right now. But there is another reason why I don't always show them super early, because I want to have time to play with it. But I am showing you tonight some of this, and the reason why is because if you are thinking of joining with our really good joining special this month, then you can get this, if you love it, in your kit. So you can actually order it now if you wanted to. So just wanted to let you know about that. It is absolutely stunning paper, beautiful colors. We used this one the other night. Some of you will remember. Let me just grab that card because I have it right here. Here it is. So this is the card we made on Friday night. Okay, and I used the dies to get this gorgeous circle, and then this is the paper that I've got behind the window there. You can see that it's the same paper. Okay, so really, really beautiful. It's very soft, but really, really lovely. So lots of lovely colors. You might recognize a couple of colors that actually you think, well, hang on a second, that looks like Pretty Peacock, but we don't have Pretty Peacock anymore. But guess what? It is Pretty Peacock, because Pretty Peacock is making a comeback. All right, so this is what we're going to know more about on the 1st of March. So at the beginning of March, stay tuned. I'll definitely be doing videos about this. And also, if you get my newsletters, I'll also be sending out information about all of this in the newsletters. So if you're not on the newsletter list, head over to the blog. I'm going to pop it up there again and try and remember not to leave it there too long. All right, there it is, lhiggins.blogspot.com. Okay, if you go there at the top of the right-hand side, top right-hand corner of the blog when you first log in, especially if you do it on a laptop, it's actually easier. Top right-hand corner is a sign-up form for the newsletter, and then you get the newsletters. I'm sending them weekly at the moment, and it'll show up in your inbox. Anything that's new, any new ideas or inspirational tips or whatever are in the newsletter. I also have links to tutorials and all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in getting hold of that, you can be anywhere in the world and receive it. And I hope that you'll enjoy it. All right, let me take that down. Look, I'm remembering to hide it. Yay, go me. All right, so what Katrina asked me tonight, she said she wanted to see how the stamps. All right, so there are two lovely stamps in here, and I was thinking we might have a little bit of fun with them and do a quick bit of stamping. All right, so this is the bigger of flowers. I'm going to take the back off, lay it down. I'm going to put this together very quickly. If you missed it earlier, this is how I put my stamps together. I go to the stamp, I find the join. There's always a join to make it easier. And I lift that join apart and dog-ear it. Okay, so you can see I've just dog-eared it backwards. Then I grab the whole thing and take the whole sticker off. All right, now I'm going to put that sticker on a block, and we're going to position it right here. I'm going to take the backing off. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to position this in line with my stamp, and I'm going to attach it. So now my stamp is together. Okay, I can take it off and put it back in the pack, or I can leave it on my block if I want to stamp with it straight away. Super easy to do. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time because I'm going to do this medium one as well. Really, really nice stamps. Lovely. I've already put together a couple of them. The thank you is beautiful. I love the scripty, scrolly kind of font in these stamps. I think they're beautiful. And then I've also got this little guy here. And let me take the back off that one. And this time, this is block D, if you're wondering what size block this is. It's a good all-rounder block. So if you're wondering what kind of blocks to get when you start out, you want to go with D, or if you want to go smaller, the next smaller one down would be C, and C is a good is smaller than this. Then E is the next biggest size. Those three are the ones I use the most, but I would think D would get you out of trouble most of the time. You would probably start with that one, and it might be a while before you needed any of the others. This one is E, what I'm talking about for E. You can see it's quite a bit bigger, but all the stamps in this set fit on D or smaller. Okay, then we have other size that I use a bit is H. H is a good one because it's good for like longer greetings and that kind of stuff. So you find some are more useful than others. This is B. That's a smaller one. So you can see there's a lot of differences in the size. When it comes to, some people say, well, why don't I just get a big one because they're all going to fit on the big one? You're going to get a better stamping result if you can try and match the size of your stamp to the size of your block as much as you can. So you don't want a block that is hugely a lot bigger than your stamp, because that's when you can easily pick up extra ink and make a bit of a mess. So, all right, so I've got these two stamps on here. I might need a leaf, but let's just start with the stamps anyway. And I think this one should fit on block C. Let me see, where is my C block? Here we go, here's a C block. Is that going to fit? I think it does. Yep, fits nicely on C. All right, so what color shall I stamp on? Maybe I will just go on white. You said you wanted to see what kind of a stamped result you're going to get. If we have more time tonight, I would like to emboss these in white and then color, like watercolor it. I think that would look really, really nice. However, tonight I'm not going to do that in the interest of time. But I'm just cutting a piece of white, basic white paper into the size that I want to use on my card front. And let's see how we go. All right, so I'm going to start with thinking, what will I do? I think I'm actually going to go with Stays On. I feel a lot more comfortable using Stays On. If I'm going to watercolor, I feel more comfortable going with Stays On, which is a waterproof ink, than I do any of the others, because if I want to add watercolor, actually this is not looking, hang on one second, I'm going to grab my Stays On, this is Stays On Refill. Okay, gosh, you're getting all the tips tonight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-ink this ink pad because it's a little bit dry. So when I do an ink pad, you can go across or up and down, doesn't really matter. I just dot my ink on. And if the pad is very dry, it will take up the ink very quickly. But I'm just going to kind of spread that around with the nozzle. Now it's going to be you can see it's going in all by itself. It's almost gone in all the way. You could get a spoon and massage it in, but just bear in mind that it's also going to, actually stays on everything, including metal, including everything. Okay, so I'm actually going to clean that spoon in a bit, but I'm now going to re-ink this. Now this time we're going to get a much, see, can you see how wet that is now? All right, much better. There is Stays On cleaner. It's a solvent cleaner. It's a bit tough on some of your stamps. Your photopolymer stamps definitely don't like Stays on cleaner so much. Here you were asking, Katrina, how does this stamp? Well, this is in black. All right. It's actually really pretty. And then I'm going to go with the smaller one. I'm going to pop that right here. Just going to go over the edge a little bit. And I'm going to have another one just down here in this corner. So just to give you an idea, you were asking, how does it stamp? Well, now we know. It stamps beautifully. I like that now that I've got done this and stays on, I could add water as in any color I like. And because it's quite bold, I'm going to go with a bold color, I think. So I'm deciding what colors to go with. We can go with, shall we do blues, or shall we do, I'm thinking blues or pinks. What do you think? And while you're deciding that, I'm going to pull apart this little leaf. I'm only going to do the one. Yep, re-ink time, exactly. Oh, the saddle brown stays on is really nice, and that probably would be a lot softer for these, but I'm just going with it today. We'll see what happens. But yeah, saddle brown is melon mambo, Chris. All blues, says Jody. All right, what have we got? Got lots of people saying their bit. Elizabeth was first with pinks, so pinks it is. All right. And that is the thing. The first in is the one that we go with. So thank you to everyone who voted, but it's the first one that I take. Yep, saddle brown is really nice. And next time I might play with that. I liked the saddle brown with the tropical, like the frangipani that we had a year or two ago. That was really nice. I'm going to pop this one on here. All right, and I am going to, now that I've put my stays on away, I'm just going to grab it out again, and we're going to do, so if I was doing blends, it wouldn't matter as much because the water-based ink is fine for blends. But going off the edge here. Oh, stop. My chair is driving me. Is it bothering anybody else? My squeaky chair? It's driving me crazy. Yep. Anyway. All right, so Pinks has it. And Melon Mambo said Chris. Floaty Flamingo says Colleen. Yeah, we could do a few. We could. Now see how dirty this is? Like, this is, now that it's coloured. And if I run my finger over it, nothing comes off. It's actually stained the stamp. All right, so it stays on cleaner. If I have any handy, I do. And it goes black after a while, but it still works fine. All right, so what I do, this is what I do. I use my stays on cleaner all over, and then you can wipe that off with something else. But I actually have no problems in using mine straight onto my Stampin' Scrub and have used it for years. That's the cleaning side. Drying side, and now we have a clean stamp that looks like it's brand new. All right, so stays on cleaner is great. If you haven't used it before, it's a really handy thing. All right, I want a couple of pinks that are going to go together, and I want a dark pink and a light pink. So Floaty Flamingo was one option and Melon Mambo was another. I wonder how they will look together. I'm wondering if the Floaty Flamingo will be too corally. Let's see. Okay, I've got some, just trying to squeeze a little bit of water out here. Now, a couple of different ways. You can either squeeze your pad together really, really hard and then get some ink here on the lid and then pick it up from there. Or you can get a block, a small block, and dip it in. All right, so what I'm going to do though is, you can see it's quite a corally colour. And then let's look at the Melon Mambo. So I'll show the other method for this one. We get any size block. Here's a little one. This is block A. All right, so I've picked up some ink on that. I'm going to pop my water painter in it, squeeze a tiny bit of water in, and that's going to go next to that. You know what? It's not bad. I don't mind the two together. You can't hear the chair. Oh, good, good. You can't either, Elizabeth. I'm glad to hear it because it's driving me crazy. All right. So let's start with, we always start with the lighter one. I could use two different water painters, but of course I'm just going to squeeze some water through and go back to the lighter one. And I do actually prefer to pick up, even though I do sometimes do this, I do prefer to pick it up from a block. All right, so that's just personal preference. You can go either way. So let's start colouring, and we're just going to go over. And I'm going to be quite haphazard with it. I'm not going to try and colour it beautifully. It's getting fainter and fainter as it wears thinner. So we're just going all over. All right. Then I'm going to go into my Melon Mambo, and we're going to be a little more particular now. So I'm going to add that more around the shadow areas. And then it's going to start, it's when you get the couple of colours blending in together, it starts to take on a little bit of extra life. We did a craft along with watercolour techniques a few months ago, which I think everyone enjoyed. We did no line watercolouring. We did a whole bunch of different watercolour techniques. The one we did live was no line watercolouring. All right, so I'm actually not going to be going crazy. I'm actually going to leave the middle. I'm going to do that in yellow, so I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to get rid of that colour, and I'm going to go back to the Floaty Flamingo and do the next one. So is this answering your question, Katrina? Is this kind of what you wanted to know, how these stamped? It's a nice, they're nice flowers. I do like them. Oh, whoops, I went into the Melon Mambo there. Doesn't really matter. Don't ever be worried with watercolor to leave some bits white, okay? Because when you leave bits of white, that's what gives your watercolor life and energy, okay? So the thing that people love about watercolors is that you have all that, it looks like, you know, there's bits that aren't colored and your brain fills those in, and that's what makes it look wonderful. So I'm just going into the bits that I would like to have darker with my darker color. So you can be really, you can go knock yourself out with this. It's very easy to use. And there's no right or wrong either. And you get better and better at watercoloring the more you do it. Let's go back to our darker color. And I'm sorry, I'm going quiet, I know, but it's whenever you put, I know when I run classes, when you get people coloring, they all go really quiet, and the same with cutting. They're cutting or they're coloring, they go really, really quiet. I've got to think about the fact that I'm supposed to be saying something while I'm doing this, because because it's really easy to forget when you're coloring, and that's why it's so good for you. You can forget all your other issues and problems and things going on, and just color, just enjoy. Right, I'm going to go with a yellow, I think a softer yellow. I'm thinking so saffron. So let's see how this looks. I'm actually going to run this off on my page again to give it clean. Okay, and this time I'm going to go, all right, I'm just going to use a bit of my H block there. I'm going to pick up some yellow. I'm going to do that in the middle. Leave some white. There we go. Of course, we still need to add some green. I'm deciding which green. I think a soft green, maybe soft succulent. What do you think? Would that be good? I think soft succulent. No, this is just plain old basic white. You can, I mean, obviously if you Want to get a really good watercolor look, watercolor paper is your best, and I would thoroughly recommend the one we have, which is the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. It's lovely, but don't ever worry too much about that, because you can get a really great result, as you can see, on basic white. So if you don't have watercolor paper, it's not the end of the world. You can still get a great result with other colors. All right. Now I'm actually really quite happy with how this is coming together. I'm going to clean this block, and I'm going to put the, I like this thank you, so I'm going to put it on my block here. And I'm deciding whether I will do this in black or whether I will do this I think in black. I think it's going to be best. And for that, I'm just going to use Memento. Doesn't have to be stays on now. Don't be afraid to play with what you have. You know, you've got all these gorgeous, fantastic products. Get them out and just play with them, because it's meant to be fun. This is meant to be a fun hobby, and you're meant to just enjoy the process. Trying new techniques, just give it a go. You know, don't ever be, a lot of people seem to let it intimidate them, and don't do that. It's beautiful. You don't need to worry about that. All right, so I'm going to go in with, I've learned a new word the other night. I was told I should be saying, instead of a splodge, I should be saying dottage. So I'm going to try and get good at saying that. And Ellen tells me that was something that she heard Ruth over in the UK. Is it Ruth Trice? I think it is. So I'm just going to, we're going to do some dots around here, because I love a good dot stamp set. Just dots here and there. Last little bit. There we go, just like that. All right, so I'm going to pop this, because we have black in here. I'm thinking black will be a good matte for this. I could go with one of the pinks, or even the green would look nice too, but I'm going to go with black this time for a couple of reasons, but not the least of which is that I have a piece of black on my desk, so let's go with that. And this is a very simply stamped card, okay? Don't ever think that you can't make beautiful cards just with stamps, ink, and paper. And I can't say that enough, okay? Stamps, ink, and paper make the most wonderful cards. You don't need to go to any great trouble. So that's what we have here, just simple stamping. Stampin' Up run a challenge. Actually, you know what? I do like this, all right? But what would look really interesting, I don't know what's quite going wrong with me, but it would look interesting if it was on an angle. What do you think? Would we like that, or do we need it to be straight? Because if it's going to be on an angle, it's got to look deliberately on an angle. It can't be looking like it's a mistake. It's got to look like it's really deliberate. I think so too. I think the black makes it stand out, Jody. So this is a really nice stamp set, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Angle, offset, angle, says Joan. All right, well, let's see. The only thing is, I don't know how that's going to look on the finished card base. So let me just grab that. So I'm just using good old basic white thick cardstock. And I've got a full sheet of A4 cardstock. And I'm going to cut it in half. So here in Australia, we use A4 cardstock, so that's metric. If you're in the US, you use letter size cardstock, but both of us, all of us, do it the same way, in that we get our piece of cardstock and we cut it exactly at the halfway mark. Here in Australia, that is ever so slightly more than 14.8 centimeters. So in the US, you'll go exactly half of your letter cardstock. All right, then I'm going to fold this in half, which is what forms my card base. And let's whack that on there. So my question is this going to look weird? See, it might because of the size of it. So I might need to cut this ever so slightly smaller, which I'm okay to do. I'm going to take it down about 1/2 centimetre at the top. And I'm going to take it down 1/2 centimetre on the side. That's fine. And then we're going to do the same with this piece. So let's see if this is going to be enough. So that was 13.8. Now it's going to be 13.3. Oh, no, it's not. It's 13.8. Right, so let's see if the smaller size is going to sit better on the card base if we're going to angle it, and it does. So the black piece is going to be offset and the white is not. The white is going to, so the black is going to go almost here. And like I said, I need it to look like it's, so what do we think? Do we still like this? Is that how we like it? Or do we want it to be, I've actually made it the same width. That's what I've done. I've cut the black down too much, but that's okay. I'm reaching for my trimmer again. Well, it's also scary to go out of your comfort zone. So we're going to 8.5 here. I'm going to cut a bit of those flowers off. Look at that. So now this piece, I could have it going like this, or I can have it like that. So that's how it's going to look. So yes, everyone's saying yes, the angle's interesting. Let's do that. Okay. I'm slightly uncomfortable, I've got to tell you guys, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And, you know, I mean, the good thing about this is that if I'm really uncomfortable with it, or I really decide I don't like it later, I can say they made me do it. All right, so this piece is here. Oh, yeah, it does make me uncomfortable. It does. And this piece is here. All right. Makes you uncomfortable too? Yeah, me too. It's not my fault. It's all of your fault, everybody else. But hey, at least it's on an angle enough that you can see it's meant to look like an angle. And the last thing, of course, we're going to, well, there's maybe 2 things we need now. We need some bling, okay? Definitely need some bling. We can go iridescent rhinestones, or we could add some of these awesome gems. What do you think? Shall we go with the, oh, I also have, so we have some dots that have melamambo in them, so those might work really well. So let me see if I can grab those. I've got these, but I've used all the pink ones up. I used them on the cat card. I put lots. We've also got champagne rhinestones. They would be interesting on here. We have gold butterflies. But I'm thinking about some mambo dots. I think those might be the go as I go through my little embellishment box with all the bits and pieces in it. There's a lot of empty packets. I think I need to go through my packets and give them, make this an easier task. The other thing I can do is I can also go with matte dots and color them. That's another option. But I'm thinking something sparkly on here might be nice. I think it needs some sparkle. And we also have iridescent pearls. Iridescent pearls might work. Black matte, says Jody. Yeah, that would work as well. So there's some possibility there. We go some black matte here. I don't know, just see here are these might be too bright. These are melon member, but they're too pink, but just not quite right. So what was the end result there? The black matte. Okay. Hi, Leslie. All right. Black matte it is. I think the iridescent pearls would look good too. All right, but let's go with. I'm going to put. Oh no, I don't want it in the middle of my flower. I'll put it down here in the corner. And let me get my little pokey tool. And then I think we need a big one here and a little one. Up here. And do you think we need a ribbon? That is the last question I have for you tonight. We could add a little bit of white or even a bit of twine. Twine or ribbon? I also have some of the shimmer. Can you see how beautiful this is? This is that lovely shimmery ribbon. No ribbon. Iridescent pearls, said Carol. We had the black matte already voted for, so we're going to have to go with the black matte. No ribbon though, says Cindy. So no, as is, says Margaret, we're not putting ribbon on it. Okay. One thing I am going to do, if I have it handy, let me see, because I did pack it up the other day to take it somewhere, and I might not have it now, but the one last thing I would like to put on here, and I will do it by the time I photograph this, is add some Wink of Stella to the center of the flowers over the yellow. I think that would look really nice. I've got some Wink of Stella here, but I'm not sure how new this one is. This one might be good. Oh, it's good. So I'm going to add some glimmer to the center of the... So Wink of Stella brush is a glitter pen, but it's very subtle. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the glitter on it? A little bit. There we go. I think that finishes it off nicely. So there we go. I'm going to call that a finished card. Look at my desk. Remember I said how tidy it was and it wasn't going to last like that? It is well and truly messed up now. This is what a crafty mess looks like when you're done. And I am not ashamed of it because I think crafty mess, they say that this messy desk is the sign of a creative mind. And so I just figure I'm super creative. Maybe more than some people, because I certainly know how to make a mess more than a lot of people. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to call this a finished card. So here are our two cards from tonight. Totally different cards. Couldn't be more different if they tried. We have this one from all of us with our cows and our pigs and our sheep. And then we have this one here, which is the new Irresistible Blooms stamp set. Just simple stamping, nothing else, and a couple of embellishments, but that's it. And it just shows that you don't need a lot of equipment or a lot of extra stuff to make beautiful, beautiful cards. I hope you like those. I hope that's a bit of fun for us tonight. Yeah, me too. Super creative. I know, right? I remember from years ago, Jamie, you've always been very, very creative in that case. You and me both. All right. Well, I hope you all had fun. Okay. Wink of Stella is the name of the glitter pen. Yes, it is. Glitter pen called Wink of Stella. That's correct. I hope that you all had fun tonight. I hope that this was a really nice way to spend a Sunday evening. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you again next weekend. Next weekend, I will have the Queen Bee set. I'm not sure if that'll be Friday night or Sunday night, but I'm looking forward to playing with that. The Queen Bee set, for anyone who wonders, and if anyone needs catalogs sent out, please just shoot me a message, because you can either comment in leave a comment in here on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, you can just send me a message. That'd be fine. What was I going to... I was about to show you something. Oh, Queen Bee. That's right. Oh, my gosh. It's obviously time for me to be Here it is. This is the Queen Bee set. Time for me to be going. But this set is just gorgeous. I mean, look how beautiful that bee is. Can you see it? Just beautiful. The detail in that is amazing. But my favorite stamp in here is actually this kind of texty background grungy stamp. That is my kind of stamp. You can do lots and lots of fun techniques with that. Super fun. I like her little crown. That's super cute. And they've got some nice samples there as well. And there's matching dies. So I'm looking forward to playing around with this. All right. So that'll be next weekend. So please join me again next weekend. Looking forward to seeing you all. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to shoot back to me for a second. Here I am. If you have any questions about anything at all that we've talked about tonight or anything other that is papercraft related, I hope that you will. I hope that you'll reach out, because I'm very, very happy to help you. This is my job. This is what I do, not just for fun, even though I know it's fun, but it's actually what I do to earn an income. So I hope that you will join me again next weekend, and we'll catch up at some point anyway. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Bye-bye.